In the Gospel of Luke, the birth of the Messiah is first made known to shepherds. We read, "Now in that same region there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them." Why are shepherds an important part of the story? Well, to get this, we need to look at the wider context of Luke's narrative. Luke's account of the night of Jesus' birth begins by telling us why Joseph and Mary were in Bethlehem. A decree from Caesar required each man to return to his hometown. The details here are a bit complicated, and we don't have time to discuss all of them. The main point that we want to see here is that in worldly terms, it looks like the Caesar, the emperor of Rome, is in control. He dictates the movements of everyone in his kingdom. And yet he doesn't even know the most important thing that's transpiring in his kingdom, the birth of the Son of God. In fact, there's an ancient Roman inscription that archaeologists found that shed some light on the gospel story here. We read there about the birth of Caesar. And we read, "Providence has ordered all things and is deeply interested in our life and has set in most perfect order by giving us Augustus, the Caesar, who Providence is filled with virtue that he might benefit humankind." And we go on to read that he was sent as Savior, so that war would end and so that all things could be arranged. And we go on to read that by his appearance, Caesar excels all of our anticipations. He surpasses all of our previous known figures. He doesn't leave hope that anyone could ever surpass what he's done. Goes on to describe this as the birthday of the god Augustus, the Caesar, how this is the beginning of the good tidings for the world. Here we see some fascinating parallels with the account of Jesus' birth in Luke, right? As Caesar's birth is to benefit humankind, the angel announces to the shepherds the message that is for all the people. As Caesar is said to be Savior, the angel says, "For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, Christ the Lord." And finally, the inscription calls the news of Caesar's birth good tidings, and it uses the word there, euangelion. A form of that word appears in the angel's announcement. "Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring to you good tidings," euangelizomai in the Greek, of great joy. What was claimed for Caesar is realized in the child in the manger. Contrary to what is sometimes claimed, shepherds weren't considered unclean by Jews of the first century. Nonetheless, they certainly were not among the wealthy elite. By declaring the good news to shepherds, the angels bypass the rich and the powerful, and they raise up the lowly. In fact, this is a major theme in Luke's larger gospel. In her famous song known as the Magnificat in Luke's gospel, Mary declares, "God has looked upon the lowliness of his handmaid. He's scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. He has brought down rulers from their thrones and has exalted the lowly. He's filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he has sent away empty." In the birth of Jesus, the expectations of the world are dashed, and there's a great reversal. Those who are empty are filled. The lowly, like the shepherds, like the lowly virgin from Nazareth, are raised up by God. The great early church father Ambrose, whose feast we celebrate during Advent, explains all of this. He observes that the shepherds are, quote, "people of humble stature," end quote. Their testimony is to be prized, he explains, because the more testimony comes from the lowly, quote, "the more precious it is to the eyes of faith," end quote. And he explains how God doesn't search out the elite for witnesses, but he seeks out those who don't value the world's opinion, who are not about ambition, but who live in simplicity. We could say a lot more about these things, but if you want to look at this in greater detail again, you can take a look at my book, The True Meaning of Christmas, The Birth of Jesus, and the Origins of the Season. Very happy to announce the book is now available in Spanish. Please share this video with others. Thanks for watching, and have a very Merry Christmas.